Hello, how's everyone doing? Thank you for listening and caring enough to join me on my rambles, my cringy astro rambles. It means a lot to know that there are people that actually care to hear what I have to say or support my endeavors. So thank you right off the bat. Yeah, I hope your April has been going well so far. It has been quite an intense couple weeks. We did have the solar eclipse about a week ago on the 8th. The solar eclipse new moon in Aries, which was at 19 degrees. There was a lot of crazy stories. It is Aries season, so Aries is the energy of aggression and impulsivity, audacity. So, yeah, some of us can be triggered more than others, and we can do or say some things that are kind of out of character, and especially when we have aspects squaring these Aries placements, and we have Venus, we have Chiron, the Sun, Mercury in retrograde, Eris, E-R-I-S, in Aries. And so that's a lot of concentrated energy in Aries, a lot of concentrated aggression and audacity. And with Chiron, the wounded healer, also in Aries, being activated by each of these other planets in Aries, people can, feel a certain way. And so their insecurities can surface. And when the moon, which, travels through each sign, like throughout the month, and so it'll take like a day, 2 days for the moon to travel in each sign. And a couple days ago, or the past couple days, the moon was in Cancer, which is square to Aries. So that square is going to be like a point of tension. So whenever the moon is in Cancer or Capricorn, and we have all these Aries energies in place, there's going to be a trigger. And so the moon in Cancer is very sensitive, and the Aries energies, especially with Mercury in the sign of Aries, communication can be like impulsive and just kind of out of nowhere, like losing it. And that can be expected, and it's important to not take things personally. So we have to understand that right now it's a very sensitive time. People are also in this space of liminality, like not exactly knowing what is to come next. We are not going back to what it was before, but we're not exactly sure where to go next. And so everyone's trying to figure things out right now, and it is normal to not have our footing, like we do have to just like trust in the unknown. And the North Node, of course, is in the sign of Aries too. I think I forgot to mention that. So the North Node is our destiny point and the direction that we are designed, that we are meant to go in for the next, until January 2025 2025, before the nodes shift into Pisces and Virgo. So this solar eclipse was like a midpoint of this North Node, South Node journey that we're collectively on. And we are making those changes, and these changes are also going to be made for us. And especially with the upcoming Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on the 20th. It's exact on the 20th, but right now it's like 1 degree away from each other. And in the next couple of days, they're going to be in the same degree, like at 21 degrees. And on the 20th, it will be exact at 21 degrees and like 48 minutes. But we can start to feel this kind of percolating. And we also want to look at the ruler of this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. And Venus is also the ruler of our South Node, which is Libra. And so the South Node is where we are learning to let go of those tendencies, those Libra tendencies of codependence and people-pleasing and comparing ourselves. And so we have like a super emphasized Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, because the ruler of Taurus, which is where this conjunction is taking place in the sign of Taurus, is ruled by Venus, and Venus will be conjunct the North Node. And so that gives us every reason to trust the universe that everything that is going on right now is meant to be, is for our highest good. It's acting on behalf of our future self. Like Venus and the North Node coming together at the 15 degree. 15 is the degree of Gemini, and so Gemini is connected to thoughts, ideas, information. Like we are, I see this conjunction, the ruler of the South Node and the ruler of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus. We are like letting go of the thoughts and ideas and beliefs that we have been programmed to believe and that we are taught. And when this conjunction of Jupiter-Uranus takes place on the 20th, it's going to be at 21 degrees, which is a Sagittarius degree. And Sagittarius is connected to our morals and our beliefs. It's our like emotional belief system. Our faith, our spirituality, and there's going to be a lot of shaking off, dismantling of these old belief systems. And Jupiter is the planet of blessings and wisdom and justice, and Uranus is the planet of unexpected, disruptive events. And so I kind of see this conjunction as disruptive blessings. These are blessings in disguise that are going to disrupt our routine and really shake us out of stagnation. And it's really like the Great Awakener. I mean, this is like the biggest wake-up call. And when you wake up, when we all collectively wake up, we can be receiving these wisdoms and blessings that we couldn't have even fathomed. And so this is going to change our way of living altogether, our lifestyle. I mean, it's just, in the sign of Taurus, it's going to be very tangible. And so this is something to look forward to. It's not something to be, none of this is to be feared at all. Like, there's every reason to trust these energies, because, I mean, if you could see how the planets are being orchestrated in a way that is supporting us, then everyone's level of cortisol would like drop. So we have like Venus conjunct the North Node, which, Venus represents relationships and our values and money and things that we desire. With a conjunct North Node, we can be attracting these events and people into our lives that are brand new, that we may not be completely comfortable with, because we're not used to these brand new energies. But at the same time, in the sign of Aries, it can be very ego boosting and like really get us excited about the future and the adventures that are ahead of us. At the same time, we're going to be revisiting these kind of energies too, because Mercury is retrograde in Aries, and so the communication that we're having, the messages that we're sending, will probably have to be revisited or revised in some way by the time Mercury goes direct on the 25th. It'll go direct at the degree of the North Node, and so at 15 degrees. And so when it comes back and hits, Chiron again, Chiron is that wounded healer where insecurities can come up, and maybe we received bouts of insecurity and imposter syndrome. And so when Mercury comes back over Chiron, we're going to correct those messages and that wording so that we are able to really build our confidence, even if we're not receiving that kind of support outside of us. We're like doing this for ourselves. We're putting ourselves out there. We're being daring, being adventurous, and anybody who has the audacity to criticize what they're seeing, but not doing themselves, can pretty much fuck off. But that's just the energy of this season right now. And the sun is at 27 degrees Aries, and the closer it gets to the end of Aries season. So the sun will move into Taurus on the 19th. And so the closer the sun finishes its journey through Aries, like so it'll go through 27 to 29 degrees, the energy is going to become more intense. And so when that happens, there can be a lot more confidence and boldness and audacity that we can see in ourselves, or even, you know, we can witness it all around us, and people, you know, we can definitely see this out in the public arena, like things that are happening collectively. Aries is also the ruler of conflict and wars, and so these are energies that we can expect to become more intense, but we can trust that, you know, these are meant to turn out for our highest good, for our future, on behalf of our future self. And so we're going to have Venus conjunct the North Node, and at the time of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And then the same day, the 20th of April, the moon will be in Virgo, which will be in opposition to the Pisces planets. And so each of the Pisces planets will oppose the moon. So Saturn will oppose the moon. Who else is it? Mars. Mars will be opposing the moon, and Neptune will be opposing the moon. And at the time of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, the moon will be opposing Neptune, which can feel like really reflecting on our emotions and kind of taking a step back and retreating into, you know, our emotions. It could be like retreating into oneness is how I kind of think of it, which can look like connecting with nature, or, you know, slipping into your dreams, or meditation, just really zooming out and seeing the big picture of what's unfolding. You know, these Jupiter-Uranus conjunctions can really be, like I said, disruptive, and it can be like like winning the lottery. You know, you could be so in disbelief at what is going on. It's so amazing to, like, you know, have this windfall. And so just kind of stepping back and zooming out at the wonder of what is really happening. And so we can be in like big appreciation and gratitude for what is unfolding. That's one way to look at it. And then another energy that will be playing out this weekend as Jupiter and Uranus come together is the Sun, which will be moving into Taurus on the 19th, will be squaring Pluto in Aquarius. And so this is going to be exact on the 21st. So it'll square at 2 degrees, which is a Taurus degree. And the Sun will be in Taurus, Pluto is in Aquarius, and they will be squaring at 2 degrees. So to me, that looks like really letting go of those toxic habits in order to, like, kind of like reboot, and like it's like repotting a plant that needs some attention. It needs to be repotted into a larger pot. It's outgrowing this smaller pot, and the roots are growing, and it can no longer sustain its stature. And so the Pluto square, Sun square Pluto, is really like removing the like, what do you call it when you prune the leaves and, you know, repot the soil. And in relation to us as humans, that could be, you know, shedding those bad habits, those sabotage, those habits that are sabotaging our evolution, our vibrancy, our vitality. Which for me, like, it's been a struggle to like readjust my sleep schedule and get some sun, and that is another reason why it's becoming priority to me to you know, find a place that gets natural sunlight more than, you know, like 1 hour a day. You know, somewhere I can just step outside and, you know, put my feet in the grass and not have to worry about what I'm stepping on, like having to, you know, I don't know, that's a whole nother tangent. But yeah, the Pluto square, the Sun square Pluto transit that is also happening this weekend is another supportive energy that is allowing this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction to like ease us into these changes. And then we have Venus, you know, like Venus conjunct Chiron can be another energy that at 20 degrees, Venus conjunct Chiron at 20 degrees, which is a Scorpio degree, can speak to really healing those wounds, you know, overcoming those insecurities, overcoming that imposter syndrome. And it could be an actual person who is really like showing support and being kind of like your cheerleader. Like Venus is also representative of feminine energy as well, so there could be an actual female, maybe like a therapist or an astrologer, some sort of support system that is helping you address the wounds and, you know, just making sure like everything is okay. And it can, with a 20-degree Scorpio degree, it can be messy, you know, like Scorpio is the kind of energy that highlights those dark emotions that we don't typically like to acknowledge. And this is the time that, you know, we are being asked to be fearless and address those like overdue conversations and, you know, like write it out, feel it out, express it in some kind of way. And another supportive aspect that is playing out is Mars, which is the ruler of Aries, which is in turn the ruler of the ruler of our North Node, is making a compatible aspect to Jupiter and Uranus. So Mars in Pisces will be in a sextile to Jupiter and Uranus on the 19th, and so this is kind of that energy of taking those actions with the wisdom of Pisces. So having that background and wisdom of unconditional love and internal confidence, where you're able to really come from a place that is compassionate and, you know, looking at the big picture and the collective and doing things that are going to be in alignment with yourself and with what's playing out in the world. You know, this is a creative opportunity with Jupiter. Jupiter expands and brings blessings, and can also be representative of spirituality, faith, like really like turning up the volume on our faith and like trusting the universe. And when it is in sextile to Uranus, that's going to be like completely mind-blowing, heart explosions, you know, like I feel like that's going to be a time to not be distracted and like really take the time to pay attention to what is happening to your body, like somatically, you know, just really taking the time to whatever you're doing. If you're having a meal, like really enjoying the meal, or maybe get a massage that day. Like, you know, it can be very meditative to be able to receive the blessings and the therapeutic touch of a massage, and really feeling into this physical body, and like having that opportunity to align with what is having the opportunity to align with the efforts that you're putting into like taking care of yourself, like really, you know, embracing the self-love and the self-care that you deserve, you know. And there's gonna be more of that coming down the line. So that is another thing to look forward to. And this conjunction hasn't happened in 80 something years. The last conjunction was in the sign of Taurus, was 1941. It happens every 83 years. And so the last conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus were in the sign of Aries in 2010. So that's something to look back on and see what was going on in the Aries part of your life in regard to new adventures and taking bold moves. So it just kind of depends on what house that was also taking place in for you in your personal chart. So yeah, definitely hit me up if there are any questions as to how this is playing out for you. And yeah, something that was interesting that I came across a few days ago. I guess Coachella is going on right now, and Grimes was performing, and she was having some technical difficulties during her set, and she was very, like, she kind of played it off. She took care of it, she addressed it, and she realized, like, the songs that, I don't know, that she uploaded were not uploaded correctly, or whatever the case may be. But I took a quick look at her chart, and she is a Pisces. She's a Pisces sun with a Virgo midheaven. And like, I was looking, so this was a post on, I don't know, SF Gate or one of those, and they were just coming down on her how, it was such a disappointment or a waste to have Grimes' set just completely flop or something along those lines. And the comments were, there were a lot of supportive fans, and whatever she does, she's still amazing. But there were also a lot of criticisms about how she doesn't have it together, and it's so sad to see those comments, because if they could only understand the placement of an importance and significance of Mercury in her chart, because her midheaven is ruled by Mercury, is in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo, and Mercury is retrograde. And so during Mercury retrograde, technical difficulties are bound to happen, and with this at the top of her chart, she's going to experience this on a world stage, on a public front. And so just having that understanding and that awareness would alleviate all these comments. And like, if they could just, have some grace with this understanding, if everybody had this grace and this awareness of how these planets affect their chart. If you're a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, or a Virgo sun, moon, or rising, or if you have Gemini or Virgo at the top of your chart, it's going to play out publicly. It's going to play out in the real world. So that's just one example. But yeah, it's really important to it's really important to give yourself grace and give others grace during this time, because the Aries energies are intense, and especially with Chiron, the North Node, and Venus and Mercury all in Aries, it's going to be triggered at some point. So we have, oh my kitties, come here, Bobo, come here. Oh, and this one is an Aries. So actually, his birthday was on April 8th, on the day of the eclipse. Did you have a good birthday? I completely forgot. I just realized it like a couple days ago. Well, yeah, if there's any doubt as to, what direction to move in or lean into, feel free to hit me up. And there's opportunity to hop on a 30-minute discovery call and just kind of get a taste for what your chart looks like, because this awareness is super powerful, insightful. It just alleviates so much worry and anxiety. We have every reason to trust in whatever is playing out right now. Yeah, and this is important to just not make any judgments. Imposter syndrome is real. Anybody that's making judgments need to be just ignored. Everybody has their experience, and there's actually a quote that Kathy Rose shared that I liked a lot, which was a quote by Georgia O'Keeffe, and it goes, "I have already settled it for myself, so flattery and criticism go down the same drain, and I am quite free." And this is totally Aries energy. The Aries has no regard for anything external, outside itself. So whether it is flattery or criticism, it doesn't matter, because Aries has that internal knowing, that internal spark and instinct of what's best for themselves. And so with the North Node in Aries, this is what we were being asked to embody and remember and take with us. And all the supportive energies that are happening in Aries right now is there for our taking, you know, like it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. And you know, when is the ruler of Aries, which is Mars, is going to be moving into Aries. Let's see when that's going to be actually. It's at 19 degrees at the moment. Oh, it will come into conjunction with Neptune before it moves into Aries. And so when it conjuncts Neptune, I can, like in the way I see Mars conjunct Neptune, Mars is conflict, aggression, war, weapons, you know, it can be, and it is also will and ambition. And Neptune is that dissolving energy. It's like it's like when the waters crash against the rocks and it kind of erodes whatever is on the rocks, and so slowly over time, you know, those rocks or that the shoreline gets pushed back, or like it starts to disappear. And so Mars conjunct Neptune, I see that as like a removal of weapons, or dropping your arms, or, you know, letting your guard down. And that can be taken in several different ways. When you let your guard down, you drop your weapons, you're very vulnerable. And so that can be applied to a lot of different situations that are going on collectively. And that's going to be on the 28th of April. And by this time, Mercury will have gone direct. It goes direct on the 25th. It'll still be in shadow, but we will not have any planets in retrograde at this time. Pluto goes retrograde, I think, like the 2nd of May. But yeah, Mars will move into Aries on the 1st of May. So interesting. Yeah, Pluto will retrograde on the 3rd of May. So yeah, there's a lot of supportive energies right now that are there for us to take advantage of and just relish in and trust the universe, and know that like any kind of insecurities or, you know, wounds and scoring words are there to help us address and work through those wounds that have been there for probably years, like ancestral, I think, like wounds that have been passed down our ancestral line. So it's really up to us to, you know, address them and take care of them with as much compassion and understanding as possible. Let's see, was that all I wanted to mention? Yeah, it's going to affect everybody, you know, like there's no way around it really. Like it's going to affect some people more than others. Definitely Taurus and the other the other fixed signs, which are Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and as well as the cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, of course, and the fire signs Leo and Sagittarius can feel, you know, an activation as well. But I mean, this is like, there's not a sign that this is not going to be affecting, especially with, you know, Mercury in the sign of Aries. You know, anybody that's, all of the planets are in either Aries or Taurus or Pisces, you know, like, so if you're Saturn ruled, then it's going to affect Capricorn and Aquarius. If you're Mars ruled, it's going to affect Scorpio and Aries. If you're Venus ruled, it's going to affect Taurus and Libra. If you're Mercury ruled, then it's going to affect Virgo and Gemini. And if you're a Leo, like, this is going to affect you because the sun is in Aries. And then Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. And so, like, this is, and then Cancer. Cancer is affected by, Cancer is sensitive and affected by everything. So, and we need that. We need to have the sensitive energies so that we're able to learn how to express our emotions. So, yeah, there's a lot of relief to be felt this last half of April, and 111 at the moment. So yeah, we had a lot of intense energies at the beginning. We had a lot of intense energies at the beginning of April, the solar eclipse, new moon, and a lot of tragic events happening. And you know, we just have to trust that what's playing out is meant for us to wake up to and be able to realize that this is something that we need to do something about, whether it's like healing. There's a lot of emphasis on mental health, you know, especially with all the planets that are activating Chiron, which is the wounded healer, and then Neptune as well. Neptune, like, wanting to escape, and is also related to drugs and alcohol. Yeah, there's that emphasis on how to take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. So we can, you know, trust in the universe and just know that these are energies that are here to support us, and have grace for yourself and take the time and space to really pay attention to what's happening to you physically, and take the action to, like, make choices that are on behalf of your future self, like boycotting those companies that are not serving us collectively and haven't been serving us collectively for a while now. And so whether that's food companies that are poisoning us, or companies that are just siphoning our energy through entertainment, or, you know, finding ways to, like, pocket all these, you know, little fees here and there, or whatever it might be, to, in a way where they're, like, wording things in a way that's very confusing. It's like very trickster, you know, like boycotting those companies and doing things your way, finding ways to like grow your own food or make your own products. There's tons of information on YouTube where you don't have to succumb to, you know, whatever is being sold through the big box companies. Like, I just learned how to make my own setting spray, and instead of paying $17 a bottle, which, you know, I haven't done that since beauty school, but yeah, like, making your own setting spray is so easy, and you have more control over the ingredients that you're putting on your face, or, you know, whatever you're consuming. You have more control of if you are doing it yourself, DIY. And then you can barter with, you know, friends and family and exchange these recipes and ideas. And that's kind of the direction that we're going in as well with Taurus, Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. That'll be emphasized as the sun moves through Taurus in the next month or so as well. So yeah, hopefully that made sense, and hopefully it was helpful. Again, thanks so much for listening to my rambles. I know they're not the most structured, but I'm doing my best. You know, Aries is all about doing our best. It's not a competition. It's just all about being the best version of ourselves that we can be, regardless of who's watching or not watching. So, yeah, thank you again for listening, and I definitely hope to see you on the next one. And yeah, hit me up if there's any, if you have any curiosity about your own chart, if you haven't already. So, yeah, I will see you on the next one. Till next time, take care.